And that majority opposition in the U.S. to continuing to fund the Ukraine proxy war is particularly striking because most of the population is being denied the basic facts by their media. So, for example, no establishment U.S. media outlet has reported the now pretty widely accepted fact that there was a tentative peace deal reached in April 2022, the first weeks of Russia's invasion. A peace deal reached between Ukraine and Russia that could have ended this war. Instead, Boris Johnson, then the Prime Minister of the UK, came over, presumably at the behest of the US, and told Zelensky, if you sign this deal with Putin, we're not going to back you up. That basically was an order to keep fighting. So amazingly, most Americans don't know about that, but still, in the majority, are against it. And that's because they don't see funneling tens of billions of dollars into a prolonged proxy war is in their interest. There are much more pressing needs at home. In terms of where this is heading, it's hard to predict, but the reality on the ground, all the reports out of Ukraine are not very encouraging for Ukraine's much hyped counteroffensive. There are all these Pollyannish predictions about Ukraine was going to punch through Russian lines. That hasn't happened.
The chief White House correspondent for the U.S. national television network NBC, his name is Peter Alexander. He had this to say about the fact that not many world leaders are at this year's General Assembly. Let's listen.
This president has a unique opportunity on this UN that's unlike others in the past, which is the leaders of Russia, China, France, and the UK are all absent this year, which, in the words of the advisors, allows President Biden, if he handles the moment appropriately, to be the president of the world, to really make this case on behalf of the world.
So do you buy that, Aaron, that this gives President Biden the opportunity to be, in the words of that correspondent, the president of the world?
That's a wonderful window into the mentality of establishment reporters in the U.S., that they would want to promote the notion that the U.S. is the president of the world. And that's how they see the world. That's how they genuinely look at the planet. They believe in U.S. hegemony. They believe in U.S. exceptionalism. And that's what they promote. That's what shapes their coverage. I think the rest of the world sees that as a joke. And they see that especially as a joke under Joe Biden, who has overseen this disastrous proxy war, sacrificed Ukraine, pretended to be Ukraine's ally while basically blocking every reasonable opportunity to end the war, unable to provide the basics for his own population. I mean, millions of people in the U.S. lack health care, and yet Biden could consider the notion that he's somehow the president of the world when he can't even provide for the basics of his people at home.